Hello, everybody, and welcome to Elemental Conversations. My name is Carol Ann Cross, and my beautiful co-host is...
My name is Gabby Forrester. Pleased to be here today.
Yeah, and we're really delighted to be here. We have absolutely loved bringing you the series, Elemental Conversations, and we hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have. Today we're pre-recording the show because of previous commitments for both of us, but it will go on air on Enlightened World Network on the correct day at the correct time. So you can always check with the Enlightened World show guide, and it will tell you the time and the date in your particular area. Because we're delighted that Enlightened World Network is shown right around this beautiful planet, and so excited to be a part of
We
Enlightened
are.
World Network.
And if you have any questions or anything, we will get back to you and reply 100%.
Because we welcome your comments and your questions, because this is all a big learning curve for us as well as it is for you, and so we are. It is just so exciting to be able to be a part of this. So the first thing we want to talk about is the fact of the elementals belong to each of the elements, and of course the elements are crucial to Mother Earth, because without the elements, Mother Earth doesn't function correctly, and she could be in a lot of trouble, as would all of us. And so the various elementals that belong to each of the elements, that's a big mouthful, it's really important to know who they are, because they are so with us all the time. So I'm just going to tell you about the different elements, and then Gabby's going to talk to you about how you can work with the elementals. So the elements that we have that make up our beautiful Mother Earth, first of all, we have the fire element. And really, when we think about the fire element, it's so crucial to our daily life, because not only do we have fires that we cook with, but we also have a candle. If you light a candle, there's a fire coming out of the candle. And the exciting thing about it is that the fire element represents spirit. And sight is the sense that corresponds to fire and spirit. And it's through our spirit that we meet the angels of fire. We have divine vision and insight. And these are ways that we can strengthen our spirit. The element of water represents the soul. And our soul is the realm of our spiritual treasures. And this gives in the sense of taste, and more especially is water. Now, water is all about emotions. And, we only have to realise that the moon looks after the tides and the elements of water and the emotions. And more importantly, it's so crucial for us in our each and everyday life. So the soul is the realm of our spiritual treasures, and that's the element of water. And when we think about water, we've only got to think of Dr. Emoto's his experiments with water, and about how, the water can change its, how it looks and feels and tastes by your thoughts. So our thoughts are really important. So then the next element is air. And the element air relates to our mind, and the sense of that is touch. So we call upon the aspect of touch to get in touch with or link up with the angels, and to understand our mind and the qualities of taking a breath, like the breath of God. If we don't have air, then we're in major problem. And then we have the earth. Wow, where would we be without planet Earth? And this represents our physical body. And our physical body is made up of the same minerals and chemicals that are found throughout the planet. And our sense of smell brings us closer to the angels of the earth. So each of the elements are really crucial to not only our physical life, but also our spiritual life and working with the elementals. So Gabby, do you want to tell everybody how they can work with the elementals?
Yes. I just wanted to say too, like when to begin with, I had no idea what, at the start of my spiritual journey, I had no idea what elementals were. And, you know, if you're at the stage where you're curious but a little bit skeptical, we would just ask that you have an open mind. And there's kind of like a little, I've come up with a little a plan to how you can, like, just to let you know how you can connect with them a little bit. And if you just have an open mind, you'll be amazed at what comes through. So to work with them, the first step is to believe in them and their existence, or to remain with an open mind about it. And you really need to open your heart, and you need to show love to all of Mother Earth's living creatures. The elementals are here to safeguard Mother Earth, and they're really struggling at the moment because of the damage that we as humans, the toxins, the poisons, everything, like, they're struggling. And so a connection with them, it strengthens, it raises our energy, and our energy is combined with Gaia and the elementals. So we raise each other up together, and we are one. You care for animals, plants, flowers, and surround yourself in their energy every day. And this is one thing that I know that I forget to do, to take a breath and just feel that energy. And, like, you know, like 2 minutes of it will completely transform your day, rather than, you know, and you can find 2 minutes. You can find 2 minutes. You need to care for environment and don't use chemicals if possible, and pick up litter. I was driving down the street the other day and I saw this big bit of black plastic blowing up the street, and everybody was just driving over the top of it. So I stopped and picked it up. You know, it's and when I got home, I put it in the bin. It's not hard to do that either. You got to be a good person. You got to show love and gratitude, and the elementals will mirror your behavior. You talk to them silently or aloud. They love communication, and they love communication with pure of heart. Ask them how you can help them and watch for their signs. Sing, dance, and play. They love playfulness, they love fun, and they love laughter. Ask them to help you in your life. They're so good at clearing negative, stuck energy. You know, it goes right across the board of the elementals, doesn't it? That they can come in and clear all that muck from you, or help you to clear it all. And they're so powerful at doing that. Leave them a gift. Show your gratitude. The fairies love sparkly things, and the elementals love crystals, sweet things, and music as well. Yeah. If you do all that, you'll be surprised. Even just sit, take a breath, ask them to show themselves to you, and it's mind-blowing what happens when you do. Absolutely mind-blowing.
It certainly is. And since we've been doing elemental conversations, it's been really exciting how much more I feel connected to the various elementals, and how much I'd have to say understand them, because you know, when we can relate to them and we can understand what it is that their particular role is here, then it makes a big world of difference. So just to sort of talk about the elementals of the earth. So we have the gnomes and the elves, and they're the main elementals of the earth. And the exciting thing is that when you walk out into a forest or out into a nature area, or it could even be just into your own garden, when you take that breath that Gabby mentioned, and you can actually feel that they're there.
Yeah.
And when you sort of potter in your garden, if you just allow yourself to step into that carefree place,
Yeah.
they're helping you there.
Mm.
And they're the ones that tidy up the forests, and they're the ones that look after injured animals. So if there's an injured animal in a forest, then the gnomes are the ones who look after that particular injured animal. And the fairies sort of fluctuate between air and earth. But I feel more connected to the fairies when I'm out in the garden. And when you sit out in your garden, or even just sitting outside having a cuppa or something, just sort of let your eyes relax, and you will become aware of a little sparkle in the garden, or a little sparkle in the tree, because the fairies are always there, and they really want you to communicate with them. I did a beautiful meditation last week, and the fairies took me into a daisy, a beautiful yellow daisy.
Oh, wow.
And as I was going into the daisy with the fairy, I suddenly realised I was the tiny size of the fairy. So I was able to lie in the daisy, and the fairy just laid each petal over the top of me, and it was like, just relax, just allow it all to happen. And so when we allow ourselves, and this is it, sometimes we put such restraints on ourselves, when we allow ourselves to step into that world, that in inverted commas, I'll say the magical world, you would be surprised at what you'll find. And the other thing that's another thing that's an earth element is a crystal.
Yes.
And I'm sure all of you have experienced, you go into a crystal shop or you pick up a crystal, and that crystal communicates with you.
Yeah.
Because that is an elemental. And so it's talking to you, and you always know, if you're purchasing a crystal, you always know which is the right one for you, because the energy connects with you. And so this is happening to everybody, I'm sure, with crystals. So allow it to happen with the fairies.
Yes. Yeah. It's funny, I have my favourite little shop, and I'll go in there and I'll be drawn to something, and I'll say, wow, like, when did you get this in? This is so beautiful. And they'll say, Gabby, we've had it in here the whole time. Like, have you never noticed it before? But I walk in there and I get drawn to something, and everything else goes away, and it's just that thing. Yeah. And you go in, and whatever you need comes at you. It's really funny. Like, at the start, before we came on, I didn't take the time to have a breath and gather myself. And just after we started, I felt them all go woof. like my arms vibrate. My arms are like vibrating insanely. But I just, like, all of them just came in. And I hadn't even opened myself up to them. It's just because I've been working with them, I feel them when they come around. But I hadn't even taken a breath and called them in, and they were just, whoop. Yep, we're here.
Yeah, that's it. And when we allow ourselves to just be receptive to that, it's such a beautiful energy. It's so calming and loving, because their role here is to help us, because we're all working together here on this beautiful planet. Gaia has been in major problems and major trouble. And so what she is now needing to do is for us to work along with the elementals. And, that's one of the blessings with everything slowing down a bit at the moment. It's helping Gaia to recover. But, if we can go out and we can work with the fairies and with the gnomes and with all of the elementals, it's just going to make a major difference to Gaia. and to our lives.
Yes.
Because it's no coincidence that we're here at this time talking to you about this.
Yeah.
And they're coming more and more into our fore, into our notice, because they're wanting us to know they're there. They're wanting us to work with them. They're wanting us to recognise them. And I think that is just so beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
It is. And to sit in that energy rather than in the energy of fear and worry is life-changing. It absolutely changes every aspect of your life.
Yes, definitely. And when you're feeling a little bit stressed, just go outside and you know, in your mind, ask them to come to you. Ask them to help you. Just like we ask the angels. They're the same as the angels. They're just in a different dimension to us and to the angels. But they're all there, and they're all there to work with us because they love us unconditionally.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
Now, one of Gabby's favourite group of elementals is the sylphs. And so Gabby has just had lots of experiences with the sylphs. So I'll let you explain that to everybody.
Look, now I wish, because I took a photo. I actually thought to myself a couple of weeks ago now, I hadn't connected with the sylphs recently. And so I went out into my backyard. I wish I had the photo up as my background now, but I'm going to attempt to show you on my phone. So I went out into my backyard to have a look up into the sky, and I thought, wow, they're there. You know, I asked and they're there. Sorry for doing this. This is just spur of the moment. This is what happens. I take so many photos.
Well, I'll just talk for a minute about,
I just have to show you this photo. Yeah.
Okay, so the element of air and the sylphs, and of course the dragons are part of the element of air, and the fairies.
Yeah.
But they also help the birds, the wild birds, to do their migratory pathways. You know, this is how they get from one end of the planet to the other end so easily, because they're directed by the energy of air and by all of the air elementals. Because, you know, it's just, there's the sylphons and the spiralites, and there are so many of the air elementals, and they just work in amazing, amazing ways. Just think about when you're standing outside, it might be a bit of a hot day, and all of a sudden a beautiful breath of air, a beautiful breeze blows past your face, and it just cools you down. And that's when you say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Because that's the sylphs and all of the air elementals that are coming along, and they're helping you. Because if we didn't have those breezes to rustle the trees and to sort of bring about all that they do, yes, they can bring some really strong things, like they can bring tornadoes and all of those kinds of things. But usually that happens because it's needed to happen.
Yeah.
Or we're all wanting to learn some kind of, I'll call it a lesson, but some kind of experience. So, you know, it's really wonderful when we can work in harmony with Mother Earth and with sylphs and the element of air.
Yeah. And I find the sylphs particularly reactive. Like if you ask them to show themselves, it's very quickly. So I went down into my backyard, and I'm hoping that you are going to be able to see this.
Just hold it in front of you. Yeah.
You're not. So you can kind of just see up here. So this is a bit of an image of sylphs. So I thought, how beautiful, you know, like they've appeared for me. And it was just before I was about to go out. So I jumped into my car, reversed out of my driveway. For some reason, I looked up and I actually stopped, and it brought tears to me because I thought, this is what happened within 5 minutes.
Yeah. Isn't that that's awesome? I really love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Within 5 minutes, they were all there.
Yeah.
This is when you're looking for sylphs, this is what you look for. These wispy, because they're very etheric and light and beautiful. Yeah, but they respond very quickly to you.
Yes. And part of the sylphs and the breeze and the wind and all of the air elementals, their role is to blow away pollution and negative energy. And that's so important for us at this time because there's a lot of negative energy around.
Yeah.
So when you feel that energy around you, call on the sylphs and the element of air and ask them to clear it from around you. And you will be surprised.
Yeah, yeah. You can imagine them working around you in like a cyclone, almost there, like a cyclonic pattern, and they will rotate around you and they will lift it all and they'll take it away and transmute it and turn it into positive energy, which is then returned to Gaia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just think about how the earth currents and the breezes and the winds are circulating and keeping us all alive. The air that's coming from the trees, the oxygen, I should say, that's coming from the trees is then being able to be blown with the breeze and the sylphs and everybody to be circulated around. So, Gabby, what were you going to do a channel message from the...
I was. We were sort of looking for a channeled message from the elementals, but what came out to me instead was a channeled message from Gaia, because she's the mother. We all belong to her, and so this wasn't channeled through myself. It was channeled through a person called Giva, and I just read it and I thought it's so beautiful. So it begins with, we are the dreamers, all of us. This is our primary function as humans, to dream reality. Gaia holds us. Oh, I'm tingling so much. She dreams with us. She fuels our dreams, but she allows us to lead the dream, for this is our function. We are the dreamers, the creators of the new world. Gaia and all of her creation supports us in this. The call for us at this time is to be in harmony with all of creation and to dream from the place of harmony and unity consciousness. This is what is changing, and it is changing. We have always been the dreamers, the creators of reality, but we have not been in harmony and unity. This is a great change that we are in the process of, allowing our dreams to come from unity and to be in harmony with all of life within Gaia. She holds us. She calls us home to ourselves so that we can come home to her, so that we can be in unity with all of life, so that we can create with love. Your task at this time is to stand solidly within the truth of who you are and allow love to speak through you. As you dream the new world into being, all gather to assist. All of your co-creators are with you. The stronger you are in who you are, the sovereign creator human that you are, the more you are able to create with love in Gaia and with all of life. Namaste.
That is absolutely beautiful.
Oh, look, it just says what we're hearing over and over and over again, doesn't it?
It It
Yeah.
does. And the message is coming from so many directions.
Yes.
You know, no matter what we tune into, what we listen to, the message is all about us caring for Gaia.
Yeah.
Because Gaia is our planet, and
Yeah.
Gaia is ascending just the same as we are.
Yeah.
And so the more we work together with Gaia, the better it is for all of us, because, you know, it is just, we are just so blessed with all of the opportunities that we have. And you know, I'm just so excited the fact that we have been able to investigate and research and look for all this information about the elementals, because it's helping Gabby and I as well as all of you. And the more we can understand, the more we can feel their energy, the more we can work with them, then the better this beautiful world will become, because we need to look after Gaia. She is our home in this lifetime. Yes, we might come back into another place in another lifetime, but in this lifetime, Gaia is our home. And so part of our journey in life, I believe, is us looking after Gaia. It's no accident that Gabby and I have come along on this journey, meeting the elementals and introducing them to all of you, because now is the time for us to do that. It's just so important for us all to step up.
Yeah.
And whether it's, as Gabby said the other day, the bit of rubbish on the road, or thinking about how much water we're using, or, you know, there's a myriad of things that we can do. Because, you know, one of the things that I want to stress to everybody, you cannot say there was nothing you could do.
No.
Because there is always something you can do. So, you know, to say, oh, there's nothing I could do about that, that's a cop-out. We're not going to go there, because we're being very positive here. So by working with our elementals, that's then creating this beautiful connection of us all working together for our beautiful Mother Gaia.
Look, I'm not going to bore people with how tragic my life was, but the difference in myself and my life since I have opened myself up to this, and if anybody wants to message me, I'm quite happy to share with you, but I'm not going to bore you with it now. Like, I have come a very, very long way, and you know, Caroline, you know, and it's just taking a breath and opening yourself up and allowing it to come in. And once you're in that place, it's amazing how everything just falls into place and opportunities present themselves. And like, I nothing very much at all stresses me anymore. I don't very often, I can't remember the last time I actually got upset about something, because they give you all these tools and aids and things to cope with, to learn how to cope with things. And I say all the time, choice is our superpower. That's what our superpower is. Yeah. We can choose to sit in this energy, or we can choose to sit in this energy. And honestly, you want to be in this energy.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. It's such a beautiful, loving and healing energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the element of fire is really something that's fantastic, because you stop and think about passion in your life. You know, you might, Gabby has a passion for a beautiful art. We all have a passion for something. I have a passion. I want to share everything that I know with everyone who's willing to listen to what I want to share with them. That's been a passion of mine since I was a little girl. And so, you know, sometimes I just sort of think, okay, Carol, just get up there and talk about it, because that's your passion. So the passion is our fire. It's not just a passion for a person. It's a passion for our life. It's a passion for where we want to go. And when we open up to the power of fire, how awesome is that? Look at a beautiful sunset and the flames from the sun. in inverted commas, flames. Look at a candle. Look at a campfire. And the elemental that goes with all of that is the beautiful salamander.
Yes.
And salamanders have an amazing energy, and their energy can be used for what some people might think of as a negative, which could be a bushfire or a volcano or something like that. But there's always a reason for that happening. And in Australia, we have quite a lot of bushfires. And so if you think about a bushfire, then you connect that to a salamander. But then also here in our bush, we have a lot of trees and seeds and plants that they can only be germinated by fire.
Yeah.
And they don't germinate and come to life until a fire has gone through and burnt them. And so, it's really interesting when you stop and think about, instead of the negatives of fire and the salamanders, you think about the positives. Now, every flame and every fire has a guardian salamander within it. Mm-hmm. So sometimes if you might be out in the bush and you're having a campfire to cook your dinner, you're having trouble lighting that fire, just call on a salamander and they will help you to light that fire. Yeah. And so, it's really, I find it exciting. And also salamanders can help us if we have what you could call an inner storm. We can be upset about something and we're feeling all of this negative energy that's coming up within us because we're thinking negatively about a situation. Call on a salamander to burn that energy away. Mm-hmm. We also call on our dragons to burn that energy away, but we'll talk about that in the next show. Yeah. But, you can call on a salamander to help to burn that energy away, which is really, really very exciting. And when you meditate and you do a candle meditation, that you just meditate with your eyes open and just focus on the flame and the beautiful energy and the auric field that comes out from that flame. It's just beautiful. And that is a really lovely way to do quite a simple meditation.
Yes. And it's almost a rebirthing tool as well, isn't it? And I know I do a lot of moon ceremonies. And so we write in what we want to release, or for new moons, what we want to call in, and then we burn them. Yeah. And let them go. Call in the salamanders and they carry them away and transmute them. If it's the stuff you're releasing, they'll take it away, transmute it. And same with calling things in. You burn it and release it to them. And then you don't need to worry about it anymore. No. They will take care of it for you. Yeah. You just state it, let it go. Yeah. Don't think about it again.
No.
It's done.
And it is really a wonderful thing. I do equinox ceremonies and that, and we do the same sort of thing, and we burn the messages, etc. And it's really, these are really good ways for us to work with the elementals.
Yeah. And you think about I'm looking for the right word. People who are really connected, like still live in jungle areas and like tribes and things like that. What they move around the fire, a lot of their ceremonies are performed around, dancing and singing and howling to the moon or whatever tickles your fancy. It all seems to be performed around the fire.
Yeah. And our intuition is connected to fire.
Yeah.
Because, you'll find that look at the fire when you're sitting around it, and the messages, your intuition is really and truly woken up when you're doing that.
Well, fire gazing, I know that's a great experience.
Yeah, they certainly are. So the next element and elementals we're going to talk about for a moment is water. Water. Water is the most psychic of all of the elements. And it's just really amazing because water rules our emotions and it also rules the subconscious. We've only got to think about the fact that the tides, the moon affects the tides and the water. And so our emotions are very much tied up with that. And so the elementals for water are the water sprites and the undines and the mermaids and the mermen. And, you know, I think that it's so exciting because the thing is that the water sprites play a really big role in looking after the ecosystems in water. And let's be honest, without those ecosystems, then we wouldn't have fish, we wouldn't have any of the sea life that we have. And so they play a really amazing role within it. And I can remember Ruth telling us about when she went on holidays once, and at night she would be aware of the water divas dancing in the water, and that was the first time she'd come across that. And you know, I don't know about you, Gabby, but have you ever noticed when you're sometimes near the water, and it's like you can feel the excitement, but sometimes you can even hear the excitement, and you know there's nobody else around except for you and the water divas or the water sprites and the undines.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I think that's really, really amazing. And they look after, as well as looking after the rivers and the ecosystem, they're the guardians of the animals that live within the water.
Yeah.
So, you know, if we don't have beautiful, clear, clean water, which is part of their role to do that and look after it, then, you know, then the whales aren't going to be able to follow their passage down to the Antarctic to birth their young, and the dolphins aren't going to be able to swim and to beautiful. Okay, start again, Carol. So the dolphins and the whales, they sing the harmony of the earth.
Yeah.
And so when they sing the harmony of the earth, that brings all the earth back into balance. And so by the water sprites and the undines and the divas helping to clear all of the ecosystems within the water, then they all work together to bring this together.
And
so it's really,
it's so purifying water too. And I know when I have a shower, every time I have a shower, I treat it as a water ceremony and ask the water to clear me of any negative energy and give thanks. You know, like if any of these four elements leave us, it's all over.
Yeah.
You know, and so we need to support, to love and support and help as much as we can. I've said for so very long that we are meant to be the guardians. We're meant to be the guardians of our earth. And up till now, we have failed miserably. But things are changing so quickly, and it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. And as people are starting to become more aware and wake up.
Yeah. And this is it, that the air is not as polluted because there's not so many planes up there at the moment with, you know, burning all their fuel, etc. And I truly, in my heart, believe that Mother Earth wanted us to stop for a little while.
Yeah.
You know, not so many cars on the road, not so much pollution on the rivers from the big cruise liners and from all of the ships. And then the air is more purified. And the other thing that I find really exciting at the moment, here in Australia anyway, I'm not really sure about overseas, but people seem to be spending more time in their gardens and looking after their own environment. And by them becoming more involved in their own environment, then that is all of us working together to heal the planet But more importantly, it's healing us.
Yes.
Because, you know, whenever we're out there, I love it when you can take little children out and teach them how, you know, you dig a hole in the ground and you put your little seed or your seedling in and you nurture that and you water it and it comes to life. And how beautiful is that for children to see and to experience?
Yeah.
And, you know, there's so many little things like that that we can do. And another one, you know, is just to be sitting there and just taking this beautiful breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Let it out and thank you, thank you, thank you. Expressing your gratitude comes back to you so many times because, you know, it's just about changing, as you said, Gabby, the way we think, the way we react, the way we act.
Yeah.
And so, you know, by working and loving and acknowledging the elementals, because once we start acknowledging them, you know, it's so beautiful. You can, if you don't feel you can connect with them as easily when you're out in your garden or doing something like that, do it in meditation.
Yeah.
They love it when you meditate with them because, you know, they can come and work with you so easily. And so, you know, you can try myriads of ways to work with them. And every time that we sort of, I don't know, if I'm sort of feeling a bit out there, a bit spacey out, all I need to do is to ground myself and connect back again to Mother Earth. And I'm back centered and I'm ready to move ahead in life. And there's so many different ways that we can do that. We can go out and talk to the trees. No, these trees in my background, it's just a part of my outside of my yard. And this is what I look at when I go and sit on my patio. So I'm really blessed.
Yeah.
But I wanted to also show you the tree dryads. And there's an elemental in every tree. There's a dryad, a tree spirit in every tree. And I'm one of those people, if I'm feeling a little bit that I need to talk to someone, that's what I do. I go and talk to a tree.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes there might be 100 ants on that tree, so I don't actually hug it, but I can put my hand on it or I can just stand there and talk to it. And, you know, years ago, if I was in a sort of a little bit upset about something, I'd go up the back and I would tell the tree exactly how I felt.
Yeah.
And I would always feel better because the tree then would send its energy and it would absorb all of that negativity. And so, you know, the trees, we are so blessed to have trees. We are so blessed in this planet.
Yeah.
And it's about time everybody acknowledged how blessed we are.
Yes.
You know, we look at nature. We look at, you could be in the middle of a city and all of a sudden you can look up on the top of a building and there's a beehive up on top of that building.
Yeah.
And somebody is there and they've got a beehive there and the beehives are pollinating all of the flowers in the gardens. So you do not have to live in a wilderness to experience and to give thanks for the elementals and for everything that's around us.
100%. I do the same thing. I'll think, oh, you know, I'm feeling a little bit funny, and then I think to myself, how long has it been since I've like actually thought about grounding myself? And I'll do the same thing. Or if I'm having a really bad day, I'll just go and like sit with my back against the tree.
Yeah.
And the strength that you feel from them is absolutely beautiful. We're blessed to live in there's other parts of the world that are truly amazing too, but living in rural Australia, you're driving down a dirt road and there's just this, like it just jumps out at you, this magnificent tree, you know, and you just feel it, don't you? You feel that. Many times I say, stop the car. I'm just going to go and hug that tree. You know, you get the tree huggers. But the energy is undescribable and it's so beautiful and accepting. And I keep feeling them all around me. And I've been saying to them, what do you want me to say? Like, clearly you want me to say something. Like, what do you want me to say? And all I heard was, we love you. And I kind of said, is that it? And they said, yep, that's it. We love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is it. And that's such a beautiful connection to have with the elementals.
Yeah.
Beautiful connection with everybody, but
Yeah.
especially the elementals.
Yeah. Well, that is for everybody. That is like, they just want me to say, we love you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's, it's that simple.
It is that simple. I think that's it. Sometimes we make things too complicated. And you know, that's something that is good for us to change.
Yeah.
And just a little quick comment about the tree. So when we stop and think about that tree, it's reaching up to the heavens above, and then its roots are going down into Mother Earth. So it's the conduit for that energy. So when we're connecting to that tree, we're part of the conduit between the heavens above and with Mother Gaia.
Yeah.
And I just love that. I just really enjoy that beautiful energy. And that's how simple it can be to connect. And it's the same with all of the elementals. You know, we just need to go out in the garden and we can connect with the gnomes and the elves and the fairies and look up into the sky. I mean, whenever I'm in the passenger seat, I'm sort of always looking at the clouds. And the other day I was actually driving and I'm thinking, oh, I'd love to get my phone out and take a photo of that cloud up there, but I can't because I'm driving.
Pull over.
Yeah, that's it. And then when you're out and like you might have had a rain shower and there's a puddle of water, go and jump in the puddle of water and play with the water divas.
Well, who says you're not allowed to? Who says you can't do that? You know,
right. You can't,
just because I'm 52 years old, I still play in puddles of water.
Yeah, I do too. I think that's absolutely wonderful.
Yep.
And, you know, fire is a slightly different thing, but you can light a candle or you can have a fire outside in the proper fireplace and just sit and meditate on that fire. And it is just beautiful. Okay, the word they just said to me, it's heaven on earth.
Yes.
And I thought, you know, this is what the whole of the elementals are. They're heaven on earth. Because, you know, it's just like with the angels, it's heaven on earth and just absolutely beautiful. So,
I wish I could bottle this, what is going on behind me. I wish I could bottle it and pass it out to everybody.
I can see a lot of energy all around you.
Oh.
And you know, when this show actually goes to air, that energy is still going to be going out to everybody who's watching and listening to the show. And so, you know, we would love you to comment on that. Beautiful. So another one of the elementals that we need to think of that we're not going to go into today because we did a show on them just recently was the unicorns. And so surprisingly, Gabby, our time is running out again.
Oh, look. I looked at, I thought, right, I'm keeping an eye on the time. And I looked and like we were sort of not quite halfway. Now we're nearly done.
Yes, we are. And you know, it's just amazing how when you're talking about something you truly love, you truly believe with all your heart, then it's just so easy, isn't it? Really and truly, because it's coming from your heart. We've gone out of our head, we've gone down into our heart, and that's what the important thing is.
Yes.
So what I might do now is just read this little short prayer.
Yeah.
And this is an excerpt from a book by Elizabeth Clare Prophet on how to work with nature spirits. And this is a prayer to heal millions of elementals. So just close your eyes and place your hand on your heart. In the name of my mighty I Am presence and my higher self, and by the love, wisdom, and power of the flame within my heart, I call forth the action of transmutation by fire of my being multiplied by the violet flame. I call forth this action on behalf of all elemental life. I call for that portion of the flame I invoke and all that I am to go forth now to heal millions upon millions of elementals in the earth. I dedicate my life stream to the liberation of all elemental life, and I accept it done this hour in full power according to the will of God. Amen. So it is.
So it is.
Well, okay. We only have one more show left, Gabby, would you believe? I just find it quite amazing how not only the time of today's show, but the time of our program, our elemental conversations has passed. It's so quick. So our very final show in this series is going to be the world of the dragons. Oh, we're both so excited about that because we absolutely love working with the dragons. And so that is going to go to air in the US on the 3rd of March, the 2nd in Australia. No, I've got that around the wrong way, haven't I?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, the 3rd in America, 2nd in Australia.
2nd in Australia, 2nd in America, and 3rd in Australia, isn't it? Because they're behind us.
They're behind us, so we're the 3rd, they're the 2nd.
Yeah.
Anyway, you look it up on Enlightened World. And so this show we're doing today will be showed next week. And in the US, it'll be on the 16th, and in Australia, the 17th of February.
Yeah.
So we hope you enjoy the show when it goes to air. We hope you've enjoyed the whole series of elemental conversations as much as we have enjoyed bringing them to you.
And I know the message for me very early on was just to try to make people just open the elementals up to other people. And we're so blessed that we've been given the opportunity to do that. And so very grateful to Ruth and everybody at Enlightened World Network that have given us the opportunity to do that.
Yes. Yes, because it's completely changed our way of looking at so many things, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we're always in that beautiful space, but now that we have the elementals to be there with us, it's quite awesome, really.
Oh. And, you know, it's funny, it spreads to, it ripples out from you. People who, like, look at you and kind of thought you're a little bit weird. They, you know, I have people around me who are just like, yeah, you hippie. You hippie. But they look up and they look now. And they don't even realise they're doing it. And they'll tell me, they'll send me photos and say, look what I saw today.
Yes.
And I feel like saying, you're hippie now too, huh?
It opens up a whole other world, doesn't it?
Oh.
It's almost like a world of trust and innocence.
Yes.
Trust, innocence and love.
Yes.
So, you know, it's really exciting. So when the show goes to air, please let us know you're watching and we will get back to you. And if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section and we will get back to you with our answers. And we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time.
Yes. And go with a heart full of love and know that we love you and they love you so very much.
So very much.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Gabby. It's been a delight as usual. I've loved being here with you.
Yeah, always a pleasure to sit in the same space as you. Yeah. Okay then. So we will say good night, good morning, until next time. Love you all.
Love you all. Bye.
Bye.